All right, today we're going to dive into a pretty hilarious modern archetype, the professionally tormented boyfriend. We're going to use the satirical character Bablu Boyfriend from a viral comedy sketch as our case study to really break down the trials and tribulations of what he calls a high-pressure, high-turnover job. So let's get right into it.
So our source material kicks things off with this bleak but hilarious premise. The idea is that while husbands get treated like gods, boyfriends, they're at the very bottom of the social ladder. This one single line really sets the stage for everything else. It's the comedic lens through which our guy, Bablu, sees his entire world.
So meet Bablu. He's been in this position, being a boyfriend, for 10 whole years. And in this industry, believe me, that makes him a seasoned veteran. He describes it exactly like a job, one with constant performance reviews and, yeah, a lot of transfers, because the competition is absolutely fierce. If your performance slips, you're out. You're fired.
And here is the threat, laid out plain and simple. According to Bablu, every boyfriend has a sahil just waiting in the wings. You know the type, the girlfriend's best friend, who's a poet, plays the guitar, and has a superior fingerwork, as Bablu puts it. Meanwhile, he admits he's just too emotionally drained to write poetry anymore. It makes Sahil the perfect always-on-deck replacement.
So what does a day in this high-stakes job actually look like? Well, the daily grind that Bablu describes, it's less of a relationship and more like a work schedule that's been micromanaged down to the minute. Let's break it down. I mean, look at this schedule. It's intense. It kicks off with a mandatory wake-up princess text. What he calls his me time, that's him on a video call pretending to feed her breakfast. His outfits are chosen for him. He has to send an update from the office every 5 minutes. And the day always ends with these late-night, 3 a.m., deep talks about a hypothetical future where they're naming their kids. There is literally no downtime.
And this number right here, wow, this just shows you the level of dedication we're talking about. Bablu's own home is right next to his office in Gurgaon, but every single night he drives 2 to 3 hours one way to drop his girlfriend off in Noida. You might be asking, why? Well, it's because he made the mistake of not doing it once, and he was immediately hit with the most powerful accusation in the universe. You've changed. And you know, like any demanding job, this one comes with some really high-stakes performance reviews. And the biggest, most critical review of the entire year, the annual birthday surprise. The pressure to come up with that perfect, unexpected moment it's immense.
So here's the real question, right? How do you genuinely surprise someone who is actively 100% expecting to be surprised? That was the challenge that Bablu was up against. So for her last birthday, he decided he was going to pull out all the stops. He came up with what he thought was a completely foolproof plan.
Okay, let's walk through this whole operation. First, he gets her friend to create a 2-hour diversion. He spends all that time inflating tons of red balloons. He does the classic blindfold at the door, leads her to a table with a cake, the whole shebang. The suspense is building. The stage is set for the grand finale, the gift.
And here it is, the punchline. After all that work, all that build-up, the grand, imported gift was a 20 rupee Cadbury Dairy Milk chocolate bar. And the best part? She turns to him and says, wow, I did not expect this. So, hey, for once, he actually did it. He delivered a truly unexpected surprise. Just, not quite in the way he intended. So it's not just about the big gestures. The day-to-day work requires navigating this really complex system of communication, or, as Bablu sees it, a minefield of hints. And this is where things just consistently go off the rails, leading to some of the funniest bits in the whole sketch. I mean, this table just breaks down the total disconnect perfectly. She says, nobody is home, and he thinks it's a hot tip, so he goes over to her house to steal stuff. She says, I want to sleep, while they're sharing headphones, so he just takes his earphone out and leaves her there. He follows every single instruction literally, and the result is always, without fail, the same thing. She gets angry.
Here's another key performance indicator that he just cannot seem to pass: showing excitement. So in this role play, she shares this amazing news that her best friend just got engaged. And his response? A completely flat, unimpressed, okay. It's his total failure to match her emotional level that's a constant problem, even when she later tells him she bought him a PS5. See, he gets excited for the console, but not for her.
So, you might be wondering, faced with all these impossible demands, how does Bablu even cope? Well, over his 10-year career, he's developed a few, let's call them survival tactics, to navigate the daily pressure.
His main escape is his friends.
And as you can see here, it is a completely different world. With his friends, happiness is a simple 5-rupee snack. They actually let him win arguments, and they never ever question his stories. But with his girlfriend, he can never win, and even the truth gets fact-checked. His friends are basically his therapy.
Oh, and his definition of cheating? It's a true masterclass in self-preservation. For Bablu, a one-night stand, or, even a few of them, that doesn't count as cheating. No. The real crime is giving another woman the girlfriend treatment. Things like an emotional connection, crying together, having deep talks. As long as it's purely physical, in his mind, he's totally loyal.
But this might be his most brilliant tactic of all, the argument flip. Here's how it works. She gets angry. He apologizes once, twice, until she gets frustrated and says something just a little too harsh, and that's his opening. He immediately grabs onto that comment, claims to be deeply hurt, and flips the entire narrative. All of a sudden, he's the victim, and she's the one who has to apologize to him. It's a strategic masterpiece, really.
As a self-proclaimed professional move-oner, Bablu has the whole breakup process down to a science. It's this predictable cycle, right? Despair leads to angry venting with his friends, then comes a little bit of nostalgia, which quickly turns back into anger. That anger then fuels a gym phase, which leads him to finding someone new, and then inevitably you get to stage 8, contacting the ex again, which of course starts the whole chaotic process all over.
And all of this brings us to our final question. After breaking down his insane routines, his failures, his survival tactics, what do we really make of this archetype? Is Bablu a genuine victim of modern relationship pressures, or is he an active, even if he doesn't realize it, co-creator of his own ridiculous reality? The comedy, of course, seems to suggest the answer is probably a little bit of both.